Hey guys, it's Rob and I'm back with another video today. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to show you guys my favorite 80s horror films. Now, I grew up in the 80s. I love 80s music. I love, 80s video games, 80s movies, 80s style pretty much. I love the 80s. So it's only fitting I thought I would show you a list of 80s horror films that I like. I didn't get them all. I got a list here that's kind of long. Some of the films I don't have with me to show. They're in the other room, and because I have a whole bunch of these, DVD cases and stuff, I couldn't get everything. And I couldn't list everything either because there's so many good ones. But I have a list here. I just wanted to share them with you and kind of talk about them. So let's go over some of my favorite 80s horror films. We're going to start here with Stephen King's Pet Sematary, a great film that scared me to death with like the Zelda scenes and the Micmac burial grounds. I mean, fantastic. I even like Pet Sematary too, but Pet Sematary is a great 80s film. So yeah. Next one is a classic, American Werewolf in London. That whole beginning scene with where the werewolf tears that guy apart out there in the grassy knolls where by that pub after they leave the pub, it tears his ass apart. I mean, they did such a good job with the effects in this film. I was very, very impressed. Werewolf in Paris can fucking suck my ass. Then we got Halloween 2. Probably one of the best sequels. I mean, up there next to Terminator 2. This is what you call a great sequel. It was just like Halloween 1, but it had settings in a hospital. And in my opinion, it was a lot better. I think this is a great sequel. Loved it. Children of the Corn. This film, out of the whole series, is kind of wacky and hokey and cheesy. Like the films just started getting worse as they went on. Children of the Corn, the very first one is my favorite with Linda Hamilton, where the kids start killing the adults and they take over the whole town. And they have this ritual sacrifice in the corn. Awesome. I love that film. Critters. I remember growing up with this film. My dad recorded this on a VHS tape and I saw the whole thing. This was crazy. Like, these creatures they have like, they're like porcupines almost, but they shoot these needles and they roll in a ball and stuff. And they have these razor sharp teeth and they start eating you. I mean, a crazy concept, but it really worked. And they're kind of like aliens. So, well, they are aliens. What am I saying? They come in a spaceship. Fucking aliens. Return of the Living Dead. This is one of my favorite zombie films. A different zombie film from the other ones we're used to. The Romero zombies where you shoot them in the head. These guys don't die. If you chop them up and you burn them, all that shit comes out of the smoke pipe, and fucking that stuff just gets all over everything. And again, they start to rise. So, in technically, you can't kill them. So, I like this film. Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. This is the remake of the original, and I like this one. It's kind of gory in some points, in the movie, and I thought Jeff Goldblum did an awesome job. So, The Fly. Fuck. Predator, my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Well, it's not my top favorite, but it's up there in, like, let's say my top 5. Arnold Schwarzenegger, fighting the Predator creature. Awesome. And I remember growing up with this film too, because the guy from Lockup is in this. The guy that goes, ah, he screams. I'm just gonna hold this up. Friday the 13th 1 through 8. I love all the Friday the 13th films, the original ones by Paramount. I love all those, and I can't really say anything bad about them. They're just so fun. So 1 through 8 are definitely my favorites. Talked about this in my last review. The Hitcher will always be my favorite. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Thomas Howell, love it. That finger in the fries thing always gets me. I remember that as a kid. I remember if I go to a diner, I look down at my fries, I always try to find a finger. That is what stuck with me in this film. I don't know why. I can't get it out of my fucking head. Child's Play. I had a My Buddy, if you remember those toys. My Buddy, My Buddy. They kind of look like the Chucky doll, but they're not as creepy looking as Chucky. But I always thought My Buddy was Chucky. I don't know. But Child's Play, definitely one of my favorites. Now I'm just going to add these in here as singles here. Nightmare on Elm Street series 1 through 4. You got 1, you got 2, Freddy's Revenge. You got 3 Dream Warriors, also my favorite. And I'm going to add 4 in there because I like 4. A lot of people give this film shit, and I know some of the stuff don't make sense. How he comes back by a dog pissing in the junkyard, and all of a sudden he gets resurrected. They kill off a lot of the characters from 3 that we loved and added new characters, but a lot of films do that. So it's nothing new, really. But I think it has a great soundtrack. I love Part 4. Now I'm going to put this in there. It's kind of a thriller, but I grew up with this movie, and it is kind of horrific what happens to the family, and that is Fatal Attraction. This movie, no one can stop talking about this movie. Glenn Close, she does a fantastic job. You are scared of this woman because she's so fucking crazy. I mean, the stuff they do in this, you know, it's so gritty, and just the language, the sex, the violent things that happen. She kills this little girl's bunny and boils it. It's like, holy shit. This is a crazy ass movie, and I'm going to add this in here because it needs to be recognized. Love it. Of course, the original Evil Dead. What can I say? Evil Dead is a classic. Bruce Campbell. Love this film. Nothing against Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is pushed more to like a comedy and spoof, but this one is where it's at for me. Poltergeist, one of the creepiest films I've seen, with the TV, you know, with the little girl. Crazy film. I haven't seen that in a while. I have to actually rewatch that. Hellraiser, of course. This is my favorite. I liked Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3, actually. But Hellraiser 1, great film. You have Pinhead, who's an iconic horror character, no doubt. House by the Cemetery, it's kind of a slow-moving film, but there's this House by the Cemetery that has something in the basement. And there's somebody that keeps killing people in the house, and the prosthetic effects are excellent. The blood and the gore in this, I mean, it's so realistic, and I love older movies. They really, really know how to do that. Really. So, The Fog. The original Fog. What I loved about this movie, what made it kind of creepy, was this greenish sort of fog. I mean, look on the cover there, and these guys are standing in it. Much better than the remake. The remake didn't really do that. It was just this fucking fog that looked like just dark fog. And it didn't even look scary at all. It looked like a storm was coming. What the fuck? My favorite horror movie of all time, The Shining. This movie had everything for me. Scary aspect, it had some blood, some gore. Jack Nicholson was hilarious in some of the parts, and he was also creepy. The twins, room 237, the old lady in the bathtub who was naked and then turned into a decaying bitch. This movie is excellent. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. A true sequel, in my opinion. Fuck Texas Chainsaw 3D. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. It can suck my ass. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is where it's at for me. The Blob remake. Everyone shits on this, and I can't understand why. This is a fantastic film. It has that girl from Saw, Shawnee Smith. Shawnee Smith. Now, she was in Saw 1, 2, and 3, and then she appeared in some of the other ones. She was also in Stephen King's The Stand. Check that out, too. She's in that. But look at that scene right there is crazy. The Blob looked great in this. I mean, it was great. The kills were great. I mean, it was just a fantastic film. I loved it. I really don't know why everyone hates it. The Abyss. This has some sort of sci-fi elements and its thrills, but with the deep, dark reaches of the under the ocean and the cliffs under there, and they go so deep down there with the pressure and everything building up. Fantastic film. I mean, this is just, every time I watch it, I just get so freaked out of the bottomless pit down under the ocean. Crazy. The Burning. This movie reminds me of like Sleepaway Camp, Friday the 13th. The guy gets burned so bad that years go by, he has to go through like facial reconstruction and stuff. He comes back with this hat and something over his face, and then this coat, and he uses these shears to kill people out in this camp, out in the forest. I mean, it's awesome. And the effects are done really well here too. But really a great film. Really takes you back. Day of the Dead. My God, a fucking masterpiece. I love Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead is just fantastic, where they're underground and there's zombies all over this compound, and then the zombies get down in the underground, and you feel this sense of like claustrophobic underground with zombies. My God, that's like fucking torture for me. That's like hell. Honestly. Fantastic film. Now, in this pack, I got a couple of them. The Fun House, Phantasm 2, and The Serpent and the Rainbow. I like all these films, especially Phantasm 2. I think they did a great job with Phantasm 2. I love Phantasm 1, but Phantasm 2 was really cool. And The Fun House was good too. So all three of those films I'm going to list in that one pack. Now we're going to get to ones that I don't have with me. And I actually wrote them down here. John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. Fantastic film. Way better than the stupid reboot or whatever that is. That movie sucked. Christine. About the car that kills people. I grew up with that film. My dad had that record. He had a lot of these horror movies on blank VHS tapes so you could watch them. I mean, fantastic. Sleepaway Camp. There's a good movie. Now, I've seen some of the other ones, but I don't remember those as well as the first Sleepaway Camp. So, it's a shame. I should have got that out of the case there. Of course, a classic, Gremlins. Gremlins, with different like critters were very, very different kind of creatures that you weren't familiar with, and so it added something original. Gremlins did the same thing, where if you get these little mogwais wet, and then they create these eggs shoot out, and then they grow into other mogwais, and then if they feed them after midnight, they turn into these fucking, like, just sloppy, gross creatures that hatch out of these eggs that look like aliens, and then they have pointy ears, and they just don't look the same. I mean, it's a fantastic film. I even love the second one. Let's see, The Reanimator. That's a great film as well. That's kind of a disgusting film. There's some disgusting things that happen in that film. Lost Boys, classic. Kiefer Sutherland. I've seen all the Lost Boy movies, and I do like the first one the best. And the last one I'm going to name here that I have that I could not find. I don't know why. Maybe it's under my nose and I didn't see it. The Unnameable. The Unnameable is, again, an original film with an original creature they've created. And I think they've made a couple of those films. I think I've seen Unnameable too, but it's hard to say. The Unnameable it's an original flick. It really is. And I think it's kind of underrated, to be honest. They're kind of hard to find. You'd have to go to like a used DVD shop or just go online to get them. But I actually found mine at a used DVD store. So anyway, that is my list. It's too bad I couldn't get those out. But anyway, you get my gist of what I'm doing. That is my list of my favorite 80s horror films. Of course, there are more out there that I probably didn't mention or that I forgot to mention that are great, but these are just what I had so far. And I hope you guys enjoyed the list that I had. Comment down below and tell me if any of those that I listed are some of your favorites. Also, if I forgot to mention any, list them down below, because then I'll reply. You know, if there's something I see that I forgot to mention, like, oh yeah, okay. I think of other one is like Pumpkinhead. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, stay tuned, because I'm going to have my favorite 90s horror films, and there are a lot of great 90s horror films, and also 70s. I'll do 70s too. But anyway, I got a lot of different kind of videos coming up, a lot of movie reviews. I do plan on going and seeing Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and the movie Sabotage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to be hopefully seeing those with my cousin Dan, Rocky Balboa 101. And I'll probably hopefully do videos on our way to the theater and then on our way back. So kind of like a pre-review, if you want to say that. So anyway, stay tuned to my channel. More coming up. This is Rob, and I will see you guys next time.